to know yourself beyond your appearance, beyond the picture that everyone tends to see at first. That is where your true power lies. Hey guys, and welcome back to this new episode of Complexity of Contrast. I'm Anastasia, your podcast host, and I know I have been away for a couple of weeks, but now I finally found a time and privacy to just check in with myself again. So, we're gonna dive into this new episode, and it's all gonna be about appearance and how that can play such a huge role in our lives and how we want to be seen, but meanwhile, also, how do we project our energy? So, how did this subject even come up into my mind? Let me tell you that I let my colleague that I've only known for a month cut my hair. And honestly, if I would know how the end result would have looked like, I wouldn't have done it. But still, here we are. And the funny thing is that I think cutting my hair, or actually letting my colleague cut my hair, gave me an even more important lesson than I first ever imagined. When we were cutting my hair, actually, my boss came and he was in shock. He was like, Anna, how? Why? What is even happening? Why did you decide to just leave your hair in the hands of somebody that you barely know and you don't even know if it's gonna look good? And I was looking at him and I was like, yeah, actually, you have a point there. But having him made that point, it also triggered something inside of me because I was like, it's not about trusting the other person to cut your hair great. It's about trusting yourself enough that no matter how you end up looking like, you can still project and protect your own energy. And that realization brought me back to a moment last winter. I felt so stuck, as if I knew I had outgrown a certain version of myself, but still I couldn't completely see the person that I wanted to be, wanted to project. So I was in this weird phase of like, who am I? What do I even want to be? And that was so hard. And I think that is something that we all go through, especially in winter, because then, let's be honest, we get more insecure, we get more isolated. So then we start to question things, doubt things more. I wasn't feeling myself, even though I had these cool outfits that I once loved, or the way I did my hair. It was just not the way I wanted it to, but I still didn't know what else would fit. And I remember coming up with a challenge for myself. I decided to deliberately make weird outfit combinations, like really awful things that I would normally never wear. And I decided to wear them in public. And I started going out in clothes that literally, honestly, would make me feel miserable. And now hold on, because you might ask, Anna, why would you even do that? And honestly, every time I went out, I would also ask myself the same question. What am I even doing? Why? Why, Anna? And I remember this one time, because it always felt so uncomfortable. I was like, maybe I should just stop doing this. I don't know why I'm even doing this. And then this one time, I went out in jogging pants and just my hair messy. I was not feeling great. Everything was greasy. And I went to an appointment. And I remember that I was like, wow, what must people think of me right now? Because I literally, within my outfit, within my hair, I project a certain image to the other person. Nevertheless, how powerful is that visual image actually in comparison to my own energy. And that is when things started to kind of click for me. Because at that appointment, I was like, oh, they must think this, oh, they must blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wait, but even though I might not look the way I want to look, might not feel the way I want to feel through this outfit, can I still manage to project the energy that I want others to feel around me? The energy I want to provide them? So that's what I try to do. I try to refocus, not thinking about my outfit, my greasy hair, whatever, but how do I want my energy to feel around others? How do I want to feel in my own energy? And literally at that appointment, I had the most lovely conversations, and it was so funny because when I stepped outside after the whole appointment, after having laughed with the staff, etc., I looked again at my outfit and I was like, wow, it is still that awful looking outfit. But what the staff saw or what they were captured by was my energy, what I tried to project. And having my hair cut by my colleague and rethinking my life choices really took me back to that moment. That I can trust myself that no matter what I wear, no matter how awful my hair looks, I can still trust myself to provide the energy to others and to myself that I want to provide, to protect that authenticity that is always there. So that is something that has been on my mind quite a lot for the past few days. Because yeah, I'm not gonna say that appearance doesn't matter, that I believe that you should just wear awful outfits all the time. No, it is just a challenge about the bond you have with yourself and your energy. Because definitely your appearance can attract certain people. When I see somebody walk past me in the street and I love their outfits, of course, I will feel more connected with them. I might want to approach them even more. Or I can see it as an inspiration, and that is what people love. We love to be inspired by others. But knowing that, yes, it can have an amazing impact and it can actually level up your energy. I truly believe in that, that if you feel like the outfit is right, your hair is sitting perfect, you can feel even better than before. Nevertheless, I think within the society we live in now, especially with the rise of social media and how important it has become in our lives, we judge people mostly on looks. I think that is such a shame. Of course, it is logical that we do it. Yeah, aesthetics matter to us, but they shouldn't be our main priority, to me. I mean, how often have I met somebody who I thought, oh my god, you look amazing, I love the vibe, etc. And then personality wise, we didn't click. That's completely fine. I'm not saying that if you have good looks, you have a bad personality. No, definitely not. But I think we get too obsessed with how do others perceive our looks instead of how do others perceive our energy. When I looked at myself in the mirror, it was a reminder to myself, what do I want others to see about myself? And not looks wise, but what do I want others to know about me, to feel around me? And maybe that is being brave enough to trust myself that no matter how I look like, I will still make the best out of it. And not be ashamed or try to hide how I look or who I am, but instead just still moving forward. Or having this crazy idea and just decide to go for it because why not? I want people to see that I have this courageous energy, maybe, free spirit, whatever. I want people to know that about me. Instead of, wow, she always wears that amazing outfit. I mean, it's lovely when people say that, but I think we should challenge our bond with ourselves way more to see how powerful our spirit actually is. Because I believe that even though, yes, appearance can definitely make you feel better or worse, I'm not gonna deny that. But I do believe that your energy and what you decide to project to others can be way more powerful and can actually compensate way more than appearance could ever do. So maybe this is a challenge for you to just try in the moments where you do not feel like yourself, where you are starting to get insecure about the way your hair looks, your skin, your outfit, whatever it might be. To think about, okay, but how can I still manage for other people to see the real me? And that can differ in every situation. But I still believe that even though you are not feeling like yourself the way others might perceive you directly, you can still carry a sense of knowing yourself. Maybe that's what I mean with the energy you carry. It's knowing, trusting, believing that no matter what you wear, how you look like in whatever environment you might be, that you can still show up as a part of yourself that feels authentic to you, that captures the essence of what you want others to see and know about you. So try it out in those times when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel insecure. Ask yourself, what do I want others to know about me, to see about me? And how can I carry and project that through my energy, through my words, through my deeds? I think that is what we want to focus on, because that is way more determining about who we are as a person than our looks, because looks can always change. You never know, maybe tomorrow you will get bold. You never know what is gonna happen. And I know, for instance, that a lot of girls who decide to truly cut their hair short, to just have this buzz cut, do that because they had such a negative relation with their hair. They attach too much worth to it and to their appearance. And I believe that challenging yourself in those kind of ways, to know yourself beyond your appearance, beyond the picture that everyone tends to see at first. That is where your true power lies, the true knowledge about who you want to be and who you believe yourself to be. So, if you're up for a challenge, try it out. Try to ask yourself these questions. What do I want other people to see about me, to know about me? And try to act accordingly. That was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to it. We will see each other next time, probably a little bit more soon than the last episode was. So, guys, thank you again for listening, and I really appreciate every single one of you to listen to these weird brain dumps of me. But yeah, I hope you got something out of it. Love you guys. Bye bye. See you next time.